You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, episode 153.5. Eric and Ryan react to Notre Dame's 34-23 loss to Ohio State in the College Football National Championship game.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengelt.
Well, guys, things didn't go quite as planned on Monday night, but what a great first season of college football in the history of the sport. Ended last night with a disappointing loss, but a great run by your Irish.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a great season. It obviously didn't end the way that we wanted it to end, but I was just telling you before we started filming it. In my heart of heart, it went exactly how I thought it might go, with Ohio State just being a better team than Notre Dame. And Notre Dame showed their fight and grit and got that game within one possession until Ohio State converted another third and long, which they did throughout the game. They were just, their third down conversions just killed Notre Dame. We could not get them off the field on third down, and so.
And when they did, there was a big penalty that extended a drive when they did stop them on third down.
Yeah, it was frustrating to watch. Just some of the mistakes we made penalty wise, but when that game started, that first drive, I mean, they soaked up 10 minutes of that game and just took it right to Ohio State and just beat up the line of Ohio State. And I thought, wow, this is we might be in for a barn burner here. And
Yeah, it couldn't have started any better than that, that's for sure.
it started perfect for Notre Dame, and then we just weren't able to duplicate that and the rest of the game until late in the fourth, when we had to start throwing the ball, and Riley Leonard ended up making some great plays and stuff, but it was just too little too late.
Yeah, the third down conversion was so frustrating. We could not get them off the field. I think they finished 14 out of 17 on third down. Man, I said, I was talking to I don't know if it was who it was prior to the game, but I said, let them throw for 300 yards. As long as you don't let them rush for 100. We let them throw for 250 and run for 200. And I mean, just looking, if you didn't even watch the game and you looked at the stat line, there's no way Notre Dame was going to win with how we are built. Give up. We just couldn't stop the run either. And I said on the podcast yesterday, to me, it was going to come down to our secondary. And I thought our secondary did a poor job on the run, against the run, coming up trying to make a play, especially on Howard on the quarterback keepers. I mean, our linebackers and corners were nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
It's really frustrating.
Either.
Do what?
They weren't good against the pass either.
No, they weren't. But I'm not entirely like too upset, or when you get beat by someone better, you just gotta shake hands sometimes and say, all right, good game. They were better. Ohio State was better. No, I mean, no doubt. There was no doubt they were better.
I didn't think so going into the game, but after last night, it was, if they played that game 10 times, Ohio State would probably win 9.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I hate that I do agree, but it is what it is. I mean,
but next season, new season, and Notre Dame's sitting in really good shape.
I don't know. I don't know if we change the narrative. I don't know. I think winning 3 playoff games should help, but there was a stretch in that game last night where it was like, God, here we go, and then we got right back in it. But it looked like it was going to be, 45-10 final.
Yeah, at halftime, that's what I thought for sure.
Yeah,
What it looked like in the second quarter.
It got to 31-7. That was bad enough.
Yeah.
The thing that frustrated me more than anything is we do take the first possession and just run with Leonard up the middle. We take control of the line of scrimmage, and then I don't know. And Freeman answered the question later on. But to me, how Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price only get 7 carries after that is beyond me. I don't know what happened. How do you just go totally away from the run after you just went 80 yards on a team? I don't understand it.
It was frustrating to watch.
Yeah, we mentioned that during the game. Eric and I were like, "What the heck, man? The first drive, and that's like now we're not even trying to repeat what was just successful." And I think at one point in the third quarter, they showed up total yards, and Notre Dame had 83 at that time. So after that first drive, nothing happened until later in the game. So it was a tough 2.5 quarters to sit through and watch Ohio State just get third down after third down and score. And Jeremiah Smith was fantastic, as we all know. He was going to be keyed on most of the game. And I think the fact that they were so worried about the receivers is why our secondary wasn't making any tackles until, they weren't the Ohio State rushers weren't even getting touched until they were 10 yards down the field. So it's like they were so concerned with the pass. The rushing game was going on behind them. So
yeah, and the Ohio State offensive line was, to me, the story of the game. They completely dominant, pretty much did what they wanted to do, and of course that Elwood influence was probably the difference, right?
Yeah, that is kind of cool. Justin Fry, I thought about that earlier. He's going to have a national championship ring from Little Elwood, Indiana. So, funny story. I was coaching Babe Ruth his 13-year-old year, and he's one of the few 13-year-olds that hit a home run. 13-year-olds usually aren't hitting home runs out there, but Justin Fry, he was a big kid. He stepped up there, and I think he even went opposite field with it.
Wow.
So that was kind of a cool moment that I remember about him. He was quite a bit younger than us, but yeah, so that is really cool for him.
All right, so heading into next year, I think, of course, college football has completely changed. You can't really say they've got 18 starters back because you just don't know anymore. But year 2 of the college football report with Eric and Ryan, is Notre Dame as successful as they were the first year?
Yeah, I think we're going to be relevant from here on out. Heck, even if they expanded to 16 or 18, 24, I don't. With Marcus Freeman and the coaching staff we have, I don't see where we're not going to be in a position making the playoffs year in and year out. I've said it 100 times on this podcast. I think we have the best coaching staff in college football, and to have a young 39-year-old head coach as talented as we have, I think. Herb Street mentioned it earlier in the year, like the rocket ship motion. He said Notre Dame is a rocket ship. Jack Kaiser, post game at the podium, in defeat, said we're just getting started here. We're not going to be going anywhere. It's just got a good feel, good vibe. We're in the mix every year, I think.
Well, I've already looked at next year's schedule, so we're going to open up on the road at Miami, which they're going to have Carson Beck now at quarterback. So that's going to be a great game to start the season, much like we did at Texas A&M this year. So I think if we can get the ball rolling with the big win down there in Miami, then we have home games against A&M, Boise State, and USC. So the schedule's looks favorable for next season, and I look for the same thing. I look for us to be in the 12-team playoff, and I look for us to win a game or two, and hopefully be in the thick of things for another chance at a national championship. I think that's just going to be the playoffs is going to be standard to me. I think I don't know how we missed a 12-team playoff, especially if they're talking about going to 16 or 20. I think this is something we just get to enjoy every year with Notre Dame.
And like I said, it's hard to get too rejected. It ruined my night last night, but I woke up today and Like, you know what, man? They were better than us. There's nothing you can do. shake the other guy's hand and say good game and move on and keep working.
That's right. All right, guys, it's been a lot of fun this year. I think we're going to do another one this week and wrap things up, and then we will discuss a plan for the off season. And I'd love to continue with college football, even when it's not college football season. So you guys have been great. It's been a lot of fun doing this year, and congratulations on a great year for your team.
Yeah, one thing before we go, I predict the final score, and I did have 50% of it right. I had Notre Dame at 23, so
There you go.
I just want to throw that out there.
Did you have any bets on that? So on their final score, because that would have paid out really well.
No, I did not. I know you don't like talk betting. I did have.
All right.
I made a bet for Notre Dame to win it all.
At what point?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that would have been a nice little payout, but
I can't. I don't do my own team. I refuse to do my own team. I'm already emotional enough when it's my own team. I don't want to throw in money on top of it. So
Yeah, they asked me
I bet
last
on
night.
them.
They asked me last night what I had my money on, and I said nothing. I do not bet Notre Dame football.
that's a good policy.
But mentioning your score, Eric, last week before I watched 10 days of hype videos and press conferences and switched my projection to Notre Dame 23-21. Last week I said 35-21 Ohio State.
Wow.
So that was pretty close.
Yeah, you did. I noticed that you had changed your pick from Ohio State to Notre Dame, and I wondered how much it was heart related. So
It was all heart related because, like I said, man, when the game started, it went pretty much the way I thought it was going to go.
I really thought Notre Dame was going to win that game.
I didn't think we were going to win.
I really did. I thought that I didn't think Will Howard could be that good, and he was against the defensive that's been so good all year.
He's a Sunday quarterback, don't you think?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially after that performance in a big. Yeah, he's for sure. But I did not think that he would have an advantage against the Notre Dame defense, and I was wrong.
Yeah,
Plus, being able to run the ball for 10 yards a carry doesn't hurt either.
Yeah.
Eric, not to put you on the spot here, but just since we kind of talked about next season and the schedule a little bit, what's the quarterback depth chart for Notre Dame?
Well, there was the rumor out there that they had a $6 million deal off on the table to Quinn Ewers. Obviously, that's not going to happen. He declared for the draft. So we're looking at Steve Angeli and C.J. Carr battling for the starting position. We're in good hands with Steve Angeli, I'm telling you guys. I've said it all year. You look what he did in the Orange Bowl. But he's ready to play. Notre Dame has one 5-star player on their team, and it's our backup quarterback. He's the only 5-star on that roster.
That's probably changing with next year's roster, I'm guessing.
Yeah, and Ohio State had 14 of them.
Oof.
14 5-stars.
Thanks to Eric and Ryan for joining the Central Indiana Sports Report again. And thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, or follow on your favorite podcasting site, host, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You're not stupid. So you don't miss a single segment. And please do us a huge favor and tell a friend about the Central Indiana Sports Report.
What?
Say it.
What'd you say?
The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. Say it.
You said it!
Say it.
A Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media.
And I love Susie.